So here we are on the first slide. Do you qualify? Now, at this point, I think you've pretty well picked up that I'm no sharp salesperson, I'm no sharp business person. The reason I don't want to be a salesperson, and salespeople are hopeless at building this type of business, is the last thing we can do is sell this onto somebody. If we sell this on to somebody and we pull them in because we've done a great sales job, that's a disaster, and it's going to affect everybody's income in a big, big way. The only people we want to team up with and work along with here is people that is really motivated to change their lives and change their lifestyle. And if you're not falling into that category, there's probably very little we can do for you. So we're hoping that people's looking at this and they've got a big reason why. The chances are it's probably a financial reason. It might be to free up more time that you can spend on the things you enjoy and with the family, but hopefully you're sitting there with a reason. You'll know yourself what it is. We often ask people if what their plan is to combat that reason that they've got, and the chances are, I'm going to have a wild stab in the dark here, that you probably don't have a plan. If you had a plan, you wouldn't have the financial problems or the lack of time because of your job that you've got. So we're going to take it for granted you don't really have a plan in place. As far as we're concerned, we've got a pretty good plan here we're going to show you right now. And the other thing we need is hungry people. You've got to be motivated. If you're not motivated, it's going to be very, very difficult for the likes of myself and the rest of the team to help you. So we are hoping that you're hungry and motivated to make that difference. Right, moving on to the next slide. Startup cost. What's the cost of you starting up your business here? It's $1,500. Now remember, if I was going away to open up another sport shop like I had in years gone by, $1,500 isn't going to go very far. But the cost of starting up your own business here is $1,500. But we don't want anybody to be out $1,500 for any length of time at all. In fact, we would like you to be in profit within the first 24 hours. And there's many, many people being able to do that. I can't guarantee you'll do that, but there's certainly many people being able to do that. Our job and the team round about you is to get you into a profit situation ASAP. So we'd like to take you from that $1,500 outlay to an income of $8,500 as quick as possible. I'm going to show you in a minute or two how we're going to go about doing that. As far as the $1,500 goes, what else is that getting you? Well, that $1,500 is getting you involved with the company, and that's giving you a lifetime membership to a growing ebook library. There is other products involved there. They're all virtual products, so there's some mind development audios and some relaxation music that you can download, but the main product we've got is an ebook library. To summarise on this slide, you've got a $1,500 outlay. What is that getting you? That's getting you a lifetime membership to a growing ebook library. Quite simple. So how do we make the money? Quite simply, we get paid a team commission when new library members joins the company. We're paid as a team. Now, we want you to get paid quickly. We want to get you to earn commissions quickly. We're hoping you're going to open this opportunity to many, many people and be excited about what you've got to hold up. So our job is to get you into a profit situation quick, so then you're excited to tell people about what you're now involved in, what your outlay was, but how quickly you ran into a profit situation. Okay, so how does that work? Well, we now know that we earn a commission from new members joining this opportunity. And what we're looking at here is a board. The company operates a pay plan that's paid on a board structure. Now, this is one of thousands of boards, and you can see the members that are already sitting there. Obviously, the names are in each one of the business centres. When we look at a board for the first time, there's going to be 8 boxes along the bottom that are going to be sitting either empty or partially taken, depending on how many new members has already fallen in. So this group it's quite simple really. All they're going to do is work together, place somebody in that bottom left hand corner, and then obviously now the team's just that little bit bigger. By working together again, they'll place in, well, I've labelled them off as A, B and C, so person B then falls into place, the team's now a little bit bigger, and the likelihood is they'll open this to somebody else and C will fall into place. So you get the idea how just the group's growing, the team's getting bigger, the opportunity is getting open to more people, and by sticking to the same plan and just working together, they're going to fill the bottom 8 spaces on this board. Now we'll have a look to see exactly where it goes from there. Okay then, so let's take a little bit of a closer look. We've got exactly the same board, exactly the same team of people, and as you can see now, the board is completely filled. There's a couple of things we'd like to point out here. There's some lines on there, so you've got an idea who introduced who. For example, at the top there, Tom introduced Bob and Tom introduced Bill. Okay, so we can see that Tom's introduced a couple of people there. Some people's introduced one person, some people on that board hasn't introduced anybody at all yet, but that's fine. Now, you can also see there's some red ticks. On the actual corporate site and in the back office, it's not red ticks, but I'm trying to keep this simple so you understand it. What do these red ticks mean? Well, they're very, very important, and you'll understand that as we go through the next couple of slides. But these red ticks are activation, they're qualifications. Tom had to have 2 qualification marks to be allowed to reach the position he's in. And Tom, as you would expect looking at a board like this, is in the prime position on this board. He's the person that's going to make the money on this particular board. So he's been allowed to reach that position up there because he's got 2 red ticks. Bob's got 2 red ticks. He will also be allowed to reach that position. So has Dan. Nobody else on that board at this moment in time will be allowed to reach that position. So please understand, it's very important that you go on to get 2 qualification marks. And again, they mean that you've introduced 2 new library members to the ebook facility in the company and this opportunity. That's what the red text means. You've introduced 2 new members. So what does that mean? Well, on the last slide we saw the team had filled up the entire board. I've taken away some of the lines and the red ticks and all the rest of it just to simplify it, because I want to show you now in a dollar value exactly what this completed board means. Now, we've already said Tom is the beneficiary on this board. He is the person within the team that was in the right position to receive the income from this board filling up. So what was the income Tom received from the team working together, introducing new members to the library, new members to this opportunity? Well, when person A fell into place down the bottom left hand corner there, that kicked in a $500 payment directly into Tom's e-wallet. As soon as person A fell into place, $500 was placed into Tom's e-wallet. As soon as that happens, Tom can go into his e-wallet and move that money from his e-wallet straight into his own bank account. Okay, so when person A fell into place, Tom was paid $500 in real time. As soon as person B fell into place, he was paid $500 real time. Now, if you're in this business, that could be during the night. So you could get up in the morning and have a look to see how your business is getting on, and this has happened to me several times. I've already said I'm in Austria and I've got people in Australia and New Zealand in the business. So quite often I get up in the morning and something's happened during the night, and it's a great feeling to see $500 getting made when you're sleeping. So remember, this is a 24-hour-a-day business that runs and works round the clock. That's a great place to be. My sports shops only worked when I opened the door. This business runs round the clock. When C fell into place, Tom receives $500. So that happens from A through to G. You can see down the bottom 500 times 7. So each one of these individuals that fall into place, the first 7 places, Tom receives $500 into his e-wallet. The exciting one is, and you're certainly excited in the morning if this has happened, if box H is taken during the night, you get up in the morning, see how my business is getting on. Well, you've just received $5,000 paid into your e-wallet. So when the team works together and fills the 8 spaces along the bottom of this board with new members that wants to be a part of this, not people that's been dragged into it, kicking and screaming, not really wanting to come involved, but they became involved because their friend kept going on at them that they should be involved. These people are no use to us whatsoever. They'll be dead wood, and they will really, really affect everybody's income stream here. We want people that looks at this, gets excited. As I did, I looked at this and I could absolutely see how I could get into that pay line position and generate $8,500 by working with my friends and business colleagues and partners to fill a board. To me, that was exciting. So that's great, but now what? Tom we know has just made $8,500. Now, hopefully you understand this. I'm going to describe what you're now looking at. Here's Tom's little group and little board that he was involved with before up in the top right hand corner here. You can still see Tom at the top there. He's now got $8,500 in his e-wallet. Now Tom gets now removed from that group, from that board, and the computer takes him away from there and looks for another board to place Tom on. Now this is important. Tom will always follow his sponsor when he goes through a pay line. When he generates $8,500, the computer will remove him and always place him on a new board, but the board that he sponsors on. Now Tom is sponsored by somebody called Joe. On the left hand side of this other board we can see Joe. So the computer is going to remove Tom and place Tom on Joe's board. Doesn't matter where Joe is on that board, it's just going to place Tom on the first available position on Joe's board. Now that's going to be on the bottom level. So remember, what we're doing here is we're working our way to the top, the computer moves us and sticks us back down to the bottom again. It's not once you're at the top, you're always at the top. You will go from the top to the bottom, the top to the bottom, top to the bottom. Every time you go from the top and go to the bottom, you're going to be happy because you're going to have $8,500 just placed into your e-wallet account. So we've now got Tom being placed on the bottom level of Joe's board. What happened there was when that happened, the person on the pay line on the board Joe's on immediately gets paid $500 because one of the 8 positions has been filled. So these, now you're understanding, these 8 positions get filled either by new members joining, people that's already on the board, or people coming from other boards and following the sponsor, one of the team members that's already there. So you think, gee whiz, how can Tom arrive there and the person in the pay line get paid $500? Where's the money coming for that happening? Well, every time you get re-entered after you've gone through a pay line, not only do you get $8,500, but the company pays $1,500 re-entry into the new board. You can see that written at the bottom there. Re-entry, $1,500 is paid by the company. So if you like, you could say you're getting $10,000 every time you go through the pay line, but you're going to have to pay $1,500 re-entry. That's not the way it's done. You get paid $8,500 and the company pays the $1,500 re-entry. Remember, every time there's a board starting, there's 8 spaces. Each one of these 8 spaces along the bottom takes $1,500 to occupy it. The person in the, so $1,500 times 8 is $12,000. The person on the pay line is going to be paid $8.5, and the company pays a further $1.5 for your entry. So $12,000 goes into every board. $12,000 goes into every board. $10,000 is paid out. That means every time a board is filled and completed, the company gains and makes $2,000 to itself for providing this facility and the ebook library to the world. So every time a board is completed, the company makes a $2,000 profit. Now remember, there's thousands of these boards in operation at the moment, and many of them is getting completed every day, and that's how Ultrasonic generates its income. So what happens at the old board? We know Tom's now rolled on and he's now joined Joe on his new board, but what happens at the old one that Tom was at? Well, you can see Tom sort of just at the top of that board there, outlined in little dots just to remind you that he was there, but he's now off with his $8,500 in his pocket. Fantastic. Now, what the computer does, it splits the board down the middle. The board that Tom is on gets split down the middle, and 8 new empty places for new members occupying is placed under the left and right hand side. It's not a left and right hand side, it's 2 completely new boards is formed here. Now, when we look at the left hand side board, you can see that Tom's obviously away, so we've now got Bob is sitting in the pay line position. And he's allowed to be there. He is now going to occupy that pay line position. He's got 2 qualification ticks, so he's brought 2 new people to this opportunity, so he's allowed to occupy the pay line position. The right hand board is slightly different. We can see Ray's sitting in the pay line position. The trouble is, Ray's not qualified and allowed to be there. He's only entered 1 person. And if we flick back a couple of boards, you will see on the one that had all the lines on it, that Ray actually entered Dan into this opportunity. Ray told Dan about this opportunity, and Dan jumped in. Now, the thing is, Dan went on, and he brought 2 new members to the opportunity. You can see Dan's got 2 qualification ticks. So Ray's not allowed to remain in this pay line position. So the computer will flip them over and Dan will be placed in the pay line. So on the left-hand board, you've now got Bob working with the rest of the team to fill the new members' positions, and he's in the pay line. So when they're filled, we'll have $8,500 paid into his e-wallet account. And on the right-hand board, the new board that forms there, Dan is the one that's in the pay line position. So it's very, very important that you qualify your business quickly so you don't miss out. You can absolutely get jumped by newer members if they qualify their positions quicker. So what's your options now then? You've got 3 options really, don't you? You've got the chance of buying 1 business position. Next step, once you do that and you get yourself logged into the opportunity, you really want to qualify it. So you're really going to have to open this to other people, let them see exactly what you've seen. As we say, with this webinar was getting recorded this evening, so there's always a chance to let them see the likes of this. Just have a chat with them, let them know what's on the go, get that business qualified and get yourself up to that pay line so you're at least in profit as quick as possible. Option 2, and this is the option I took, I purchased 3 positions. Now that took more of an outlay of $4,500. What it meant was I was going into a board that had a fair bit of activity and I wanted to get to the pay line as quick as I possibly could. So with purchasing the 3 positions, number 2 and number 3 qualified that number 1. It made it qualified to reach that pay line position and put me into a profit. So again, I had a good story to tell. Really, most people, I would say, just get yourself 1 position and qualify it. Only take the 3 if you know tomorrow you've got people on hand that's going to love what you've just got involved in, are going to jump into it with you because they want to work along with you and be part of it. And then in that happening, your number 2 and number 3 positions will also be qualified. So don't take 3 positions unless you know you're capable of doing that. Number 3 option, well, what's your plan? You had a look at this because you had a reason for looking at it. Hopefully I've given you a little bit of a plan here that maybe can help out your finances and help out the lifestyle you would like to achieve. If you go with this, I'm pretty sure you're on the right track. If you don't, then I suppose you're going to have to think, well, what's my plan now? So listen, I'll leave that one for you to figure out. My suggestion is have a look at option 1 or 2 and make a move on that. So last slide, and in summary, what have we got? Well, we've got a business opportunity for you for $1,500, and I think that's a great spend with what I've just shown you here tonight and the money that's available for you to gain. So you're going to start this being out $1,500, and we've already said, you know, everybody around about you is going to try and get you to that profit as quick as possible. So hopefully you're not going to be out of pocket that $1,500 too long. The good news is once we've taught you how to get up to that pay line position and get that money in your pocket, you know, and exactly how you've done it. And you're then going to move on to your next board. And you know what? You can quite easily do it for the 2nd time. You've done it once. Just go out there and do it again. If again the team round about you are going to help you do that, we're going to fill that board, get you back up to that $8,500. And so what we've got here, we've got a business that we can choose how many times per month we go through that pay line, so we can make what we want to make. I'm pretty sure we're all in a job, or a lot of us listening to this is in a job, and you pretty much know exactly how much you're going to make month after month after month in that job. Well, here we've got a business that we can choose what we make, and it really just comes down to us all working together and saying, right, we want to go through the pay line 2, 3, 4, 5 times every month. You know, it's getting done. People's already doing it. So it really is up to us. One thing I would like to add in, when you go through the pay line the first time, to do that, you've become active. You've introduced 2 members to work along with you. You can use these same 2 members to take you through the pay line every time. For that to happen, all you have to do is help them through the pay line. Every time they go through the pay line, they will follow you and join you on your new board, and that will activate you to be allowed to go through the pay line on your new board. And that can just happen multiple times. It's entirely up to yourself how often you do that. Listen, anyway, it's been a pleasure doing this webinar this evening. Hopefully it's been recorded perfectly, and therefore the whole team can use it going into the future. Listen, I hope to speak to you all again very soon. The people you're with will give you my Skype details. I'm happy to speak anytime. Any questions, just get back in touch. But again, people you're sitting with here just now, ask them the questions just now. You can have a further chat, and I myself will speak to you soon. Bye-bye. Now, listen guys, I just thought I'd throw this in at the end here just to wrap things up. Right now, I suppose some of you is pretty excited about what you've just seen. But for me, it's really not about business and making money that's exciting. It's what I'm away to show you in a minute. So just hang on a second, I'll show you some the sort of thing that excites me anyway. Some of you will hop on board with us here and some of you won't. Hey, that's totally cool. For the ones that do, you know what, you're going to be jumping a real fun bunch of people. We've got pro skiers, we've got pro mountain bikers, there's property developers, there's investors, there's independent financial advisors, we've got multiple business owners, housewives and accountants. You know, the accountants, they come in handy from time to time. You're taking on board a business here, so they're quite good to get their help now and again to advise you on how to tidy that business up and keep it organised, the same as doing your own tax returns at the end of the year. This business you've started up or you're going to start up here, there's obviously tax implications. There can be huge tax benefits. You've got a home-based business, so you need to talk to somebody there to get advice on that one, because there's many things that can be tax deductible. But at the end of the day, you've still got to, any income here has got to be declared, and the tax has got to be squared up as far as that goes. You know, there's no way out to that one. So please get yourself organised and make sure all these affairs are kept nice and tidy. And yeah, we've got people from all different walks of life all over the world. So hopefully you'll get a chance to tie in with some of them and have a chat with them sometime in the future. You know, one thing I want you to remember though, you've now got at your fingertips a great opportunity. You possibly got dropped into your inbox an email opening this up to you. You read that and you were interested, you asked for more information. You probably got flicked on then the business presentation, and that's probably why you're sitting watching this right now. But what you've got to take from that is that you've really got in your hands a step-by-step system now, and everything you possibly require to now flick onto your contacts to put them through the same 2 steps. So hopefully, you know, if you do come on board with us, you're going to store that email, store the business presentation, and just get it out to your contacts and people you're bumping into all the time. And I don't go out my way to open people to say, look, are you open to have a look at a business opportunity? I just tend to make sure I get their email address, and if it's somebody I've bumped into at the golf, I'll get their email address and say, listen, I'm gonna drop you an email tomorrow. Have a look at it. I'll look at it and get back to me and give me your thoughts. So that's all you've really got to do here. You don't have to put yourself into an awkward situation. You've just got to get their email addresses and let them know you're going to drop them an email sometime. So really, yeah, you do have at your fingertips a system to maybe improve your lifestyle and improve your finances. So yeah, hopefully you understand that one. And just to finish off, by the way, I hope the reason I'm not got a video camera stuck in my face here, I'm wearing a pair of fancy video sunglasses that I bought cheap as chips in Hong Kong the last time I came through there. So the reason I'm always looking forward is the fact that the little camera's stuck on the side of these sunglasses. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? But listen, look, I'll take them off. There you go. You can tell it's me. So I'm away to show you something now that does excite me. I'm going to take you a blast down this run here out in Austria. And I won't do any more speaking, so you'll probably get fed up watching this in the next couple of minutes. But listen, this is what I enjoy in life, and this is why I do this type of business, just to give me the chance to ski with my son. He'll take off in front of me here, so you'll see him going off into the distance, no doubt, because he whips Dad now down the slope. He's always down there waiting, me saying, where have you been, Dad? But listen, it's been great. I've enjoyed doing the presentation. Great having a chat to you here this second again, and I really hope to speak to you all very, very soon. Bye for now, and I hope you enjoy this.